fans of Comic Land, it's Leila here from the Comic Connection with this week's comic book reviews. First up, we've got Spawn number 200. That's right, folks. Spawn is up to number 200, which is a pretty big achievement, even if it's a little bit late. So, written and drawn by Todd McFarlane, and this issue, Al discusses the future of the suit with Jim in Oblivion, while Clown and Omega Spawn fight against Freak, who's not really who he seems to be, and Violator finds out who he really is, and that we're all in a lot of trouble. So, I'll say right off that I'm not really a Spawn reader, so I'm coming to this from a sort of new place. I know a bit about Spawn, so I'm not completely new, but here's what I got from it. So there's a new Spawn. For those of you who didn't know that it's not Al Simmons right now, it's Jim Downing. And although Al is still around, but he's stuck somewhere in Oblivion, and in this issue he does manage to communicate with Jim, which was kind of weird. And that there's a big bad from the past that is returning, and this whole thing is over 100 issues in the making because they refer back to something that happened in issue number 100. So overall, this was kind of okay. There's lots of action and even more exposition. It's really well drawn, obviously, and it's setting up the next several issues, which, by the way, McFarlane promises to deliver 2 issues a month for the next 3 months to try and catch up on the schedule, although if you're doing the math here, that would still put him about 4 months behind. But anyways, as long as we're catching up on Spawn, that's good. So if you're a Spawn reader, you're probably going to pick this one up. And if you're not, this is not a bad place to jump on. I mean, you might be a bit confused, but there is a, what happened in Spawn previously part in the front that's pretty helpful. So, next up, we've got Daredevil Reborn, number 1 of 4. This is by Andy Diggle and David Gianfelice. In this one, we're opening up after the events of Shadowland, where Matt Murdock has left New York City, heading nowhere in particular, trying to figure out what went wrong, and to find out the man that he was before he tried to take over the hand, and that didn't go so well. So in this issue, he stumbles upon a town in New Mexico, and he soon realizes that there's something pretty wrong there, like something just does not feel right. Can Matt rediscover the hero inside, or is he just going to move on and leave that all be? So, this was a very interesting beginning. I really liked it. It clearly shows Matt as a broken man, and Diggle has done a good job delving into his turmoil, and Gianfelice brings life to a seedy world in the desert. So I'm really looking forward to the next one. And, if you haven't read Daredevil up to this point, I mean, you might be a little confused about the whole Shadowland thing, but this is an interesting miniseries for all you Daredevil fans. And last but not least, we've got WonderGirl number 1 by J.T. Cruel and Adriana Melo. Now in this one, WonderGirl, aka Cassie Sandsmark, takes some time off from training at Titan's Tower to visit her mother at an archaeological conference in London. And she's soon called into action when a superpowered thief tries to steal an artifact. And during the fight, she's joined by a surprising ally, Solstice. So this is a pretty good first issue. What I will say is that I was particularly drawn to the artwork. It's very crisp and beautiful, great coloring. It's a great book to look at. The story, somewhat simple so far, but I did delve into the character a lot and what she's thinking, and I thought it was a pretty good first effort. So if you're interested in WonderGirl, definitely pick this one up. See you next week, folks.
Hey folks, welcome to another exciting episode of Geeking Out. This week I'm in the, gym cave, as it were, because, it's just a little bit cold to film outside. So, on this week's show, we have 2 new reviews for you, starting off with Omamori, Himari, written and drawn by Milan Matra. And in this one, Yuto is severely allergic to cats, and on his 16th birthday, the mysterious himari shows up, and she just happens to be a sword-wielding cat spirit in human form, who has sworn to protect Yuto, who is now the target of vengeful spirits, not to mention terrible allergies. This is not a bad little manga. It's pretty fun. Lots of innuendo stuff, lots of sexual tension between the characters. It's actually pretty fun and funny. If you're a manga fan, you might want to check it out. Next up, we have The One, written by Giuliano Mani and art by Pasquale Culano. And in this one, after an era of peace, the world falls back into darkness, and the only hope lies in the One, a mythical sword. But first, it must be found. As always, with most of the GG books that have been coming out on a very irregular schedule, the art is simply gorgeous in this book. I cannot understate that enough. It is simply gorgeous art. Story-wise, it could use some work, but otherwise, it's okay. I think the main problem that GG Studios has is that they need a better translator, as whoever they have translating from Italian just isn't doing a very good job. So check this book out if you want to try something a little new. The art is gorgeous and story is okay. It's not a bad read. We'll see you next week.